Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be tinting our third brake light. In the last video, which I'll link in the description below, we tinted our tail lights. In this video we'll be tinting our third brake light. Just like in the last video, you're going to need 5 things. And if you're like me, on your first time trying to tint your tail lights, you probably cut your tint a little bit too short. And so that's what we're going to use to tint our third brake light. Now, besides the tint, you also need your squeegee, once again, your rag that's been wet down with soap and water, your craft knife or razor, and a heat gun or hair dryer, and once again I'm using a hair dryer. Alright guys, the first step in tinting your third brake light is to wipe it down with your rag, ensuring there's no dust, pollen, or debris. After wiping down your third brake light, you want to allow it to dry thoroughly before applying the tint. So to do this, you can either just wait for it to dry, or if you're impatient like me, you can use a paper towel or dry rag. Alright, so first thing you want to do is peel the backing off of your tint, just like that. And start at one corner of your brake light, and then just peel the tint the rest of the way down. Alright, now that your tint is rolled out on your third brake light, what you want to do is take your source of heat and apply heat to the entire surface of it, making sure that it is warm and pliable. Once your tint is plenty warm, take your squeegee and force your tint down. Pulling up in the places that you need to. If you have air bubbles that you try to force out with your squeegee and they form creases, don't worry. All you need to do is take your source of heat and go over them after you've pulled the tint up. What this does is the heat resets the memory of the tint, eliminating the crease. After you've gotten rid of the crease, now what you want to do is pull your tint tight down over your brake light. Now, my tint's not very warm, so it is creased once again. Once it's warm and pliable, pull it tight to make as few wrinkles as possible when you first lay it down. Now, take your squeegee and make light strokes to force it down. Alright, now that we've gotten done with the right side and it's well adhered to your brake light, go to your left side, once again using your source of heat to warm the film up, therefore making it pliable. Now, just like on the right side, pull it tight down over your brake light. Then take your squeegee, forcing out all the air bubbles, once again making very light strokes to reduce the chances of forming creases whenever you're trying to get an air bubble out. Alright, now that you've gotten the top done, what we're going to do is we're going to move to the sides. First thing you want to do is take your source of heat and pull this tint out just off the side. Take your source of heat and heat up the tint to make it more pliable. After you heat it up, let it just kind of fall to the brake light on its own. As you see here, I have a couple creases, so I'm going to once again take my source of heat and eliminate the creases. As you saw that I did, when you're heating it up, you can use your fingers to tuck the tint in there. And then, once you're done, take your squeegee and force it down there. Alright. Go ahead and move to this side. Alright, now we're back on the right side, doing the right corner. And just like we did before, you want to take your source of heat and go over the tint and pull it tight at the same time. Like I said before, as you're heating it up, you can use your fingers to force the tint down into the gap. Now, if your vehicle doesn't have sides on your third brake light, you don't have to worry about this. All you're concerned about is the top in this next step. So now, onto the bottom portion of the tail light. Once again, taking your source of heat, pulling the tint up just enough to to reveal the bottom portion of your third brake light. Then taking your source of heat, and like we have been, heating up the tint. Once it's warm and pliable, grab it by the corners and pull it down extremely tight. Now, while we were doing that, we messed up our corners, so let's just go ahead and redo those. Now that your tint's nice and warm and pliable, take your squeegee and force that tint down onto your third brake light. Once again, if you get any creases, don't be worried. Just take your source of heat and erase them. These edges and curves are very difficult and will take some time. All you have to do is be patient. Alright, now that you've got your side covered, you want to take your source of heat and apply it directly to this crease here where your brake light meets the body of your vehicle, ensuring that there's good adhesion to it. Once you've got your tint nicely wrapped around your brake light, take your squeegee and shove it in that crease just to ensure that you've got a nice edge. Alright, now back down to the bottom. Take your tint and pull it up. After using your heat source, take your squeegee and just like we've been doing, force out all those wrinkles and air bubbles. Now that you've got your brake light completely tinted, corners, edges, curves, top and bottom, you want to take your craft knife and cut off the excess just around the edge. You don't want to cut the tint that's on your taillight, and you don't want to cut the body of your vehicle. Alright, so using your craft knife, go along the edge of your brake light. Then, once you've cut it, go ahead and peel the tint off at the cut. Remember to cut it all the way across on both sides. Then, take your squeegee and force the tint back down onto your brake light. Using your heat source if needed to adhere it. Once again, following the curve in your brake light, take your razor and precisely and carefully go down the gap between your brake light and vehicle. Then, just like that, peel it off. And one more time, take your squeegee and force it down. Then take your squeegee and force down any tint that is trying to come up. Take your heat source and one more time, go around the edge. Now you know how to tint your third brake light. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment on what you thought. See you all in the next video.